Okay, this is a nice quick and dirty review just because it's a bit of a talking point on the Transmaster forum. Here we have Ratbat. We have Ratbat G1 and Ratbat Masterpiece. Ratbat is a pain in everyone's ass at the moment because you can only get him with Sound Blaster. Basically, I'm doing this. I can't actually really be asked to, but I'm doing it because it's really got my back up. I don't see what all the big fuss is about. So what? There is a massive leap between the G1 tapes and the Masterpiece tapes on every figure that I've seen, with the exception of Ratbat. It just isn't there. The G1 toy is good. Now, I'm a big fan of Masterpiece. Most of my G1 stuff, it doesn't even compare, but we'll start at the top and we'll take it away from there. So, first things first, you have two tapes here, and I'm going to come in nice and close on these because this is an important point to start with. So let's get that right. So we have two tapes here, right? The two that we're using are the Masterpiece cassette and the Encore 17 cassette, which is the G1 toy, well, based on the G1 toy. So what have we got there? We've got two sort of purpley pinky cassettes. This one's slightly more maroon maybe. And this one's got metal position, 0, 5, 10 and MC60, and it's got like side A and whatever. This one right here on the left is the G1 tape. This is the Masterpiece. This is the G1. This has more detail. This has less detail. Okay, straight away, alt modes. I mean, let's face it, a cassette is not exactly the most exciting alt mode. Okay, but right off the bat, the G1 wins for having more detail on the alt mode. Okay, so let's get into the transformation. So G1 toy, I'm sure a few people would be familiar with this. It's nice and simple, but I do like how it's not that simple, but I do like how it generates quite a lot of size in its transformation. So we'll pull out his wings here and pull out his wing here. Well, oh, I always put my hands in the shadow. This is terrible. Okay, so and now we pull out these little hooks, actual, like they look like proper little pegs, like that very much. Turn him around so we can see him. Pop his feet out, nicely posable. Well, I say nicely posable, at least you can rotate them. Ears up to whatever angle you want, and effectively a movable head as well. So you can have him in a little bit of poses, and then you have all the articulation around the shoulders. But in a nutshell, that is your G1 Ratbat. Now he's nice. And I like look at all the detail that we have on the inside here, inside of the wings. What you really want is an orientation because he's very two-dimensional. They always are. This one pulls it off because he's so, like, he has such a wingspan. He looks quite big at other angles. What you don't have is kind of like, what you want, ideally, is you want the body in that orientation, and you'd like the wings kind of in that orientation. You know, when you see him sort of flying around and he's taking those big sweeps with the wings aren't side on like this, they're that way. So that's what you'd want ideally, and to be fair, that's what I would expect from a Masterpiece. So let's just perch him up there for a second. Okay, he says confidently. Right, so boom, G1. Right, Masterpiece. How can I do this? Right, and of course, all important, and this is I suppose the big showstopper, is the kibble. These massive like radar dish plates that sit on the back. Yeah, I've already shown that the toy by itself is kind of nice without them, but this obviously finishes the picture. So you have that sort of, I don't know, radar thing. I don't know, anything that's bat needs to have some sort of radar thing in it apparently. Nice big chromed up boosters. It gets rid of that, well, it adds that third dimension that it was lacking before. But that to me looks pretty close to how I remember seeing Ratbat in the cartoons and how I remember seeing Ratbat in the comics. Right, so we'll move on to the Masterpiece now. Again, I apologise for the quality of the video. I usually rehearse these and go through a bit of a script. So all we're doing is popping out the wings, popping out the thrusters. Obviously they're internal this time, they're actually included as a part of it. Okay, and it is kind of nice how this works. We see that familiar detail and whatnot on the wings. And then, oh, I think I've done this wrong. No, there we go. So turn the thrusters round. Pop these out here. Again, this is the sort of thing that you'd expect from a masterpiece. Lots of little fiddly details, like it. And this faceplate comes all the way up and rotates 180 degrees, snaps onto the front. You put the thrusters down on the back, and there he is. That is your masterpiece Ratbat. Now, it's good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It is nice, but I have a reservation about that little piggy face. It actually doesn't complement the two-dimensional nature of the cassettes. I think that the face on the G1, although it's got nowhere near the character or the detail, it just seems to stick out better from the figure. It just seems to have more predominance because it's sat on the shoulders, I suppose. It sits out better. It's not sat right on the front of the figure, whereas this, it is sat completely on the figure. Now look at his feet. He's got these little like C-clip-esque stubby feet. There's no posability in there. There's nothing you can do. The thrusters, yeah, all right, fair one. You managed to get it into the transformation, and they look the part. But where's those big radar dishes that we love? Hey, where are they? Where are they on there? They're these tiny little sort of plates at the top. So he's lost all that extra detail. Everything above the shoulders is gone. He's just now a little ball with some wings sticking out. And here we get on to the real deal breaker. The wings. What's different between those two? Now, unless I have somehow... Oh, actually, I was about to say unless I've missed it. Look, there's the hooks. Oh, no, wait, no, not hooks. No, they're not like little pegs with a decent amount of detail like the G1. No, they're just spikes. Spikes on his wings. Because he's one of the rare breed of Cybertronian spiked bat that he's based on. Right, so what's wrong with the wings? What's different? That's right. Unless I have somehow missed a major transformation step, all the detail on these wings is on the back. What good is that? Why would you do that? You've got, you've put all the effort into this detail for his face, and you nice little Decepticon symbol, not a rub sign. You get a rub sign on the G1. Check it out. But no, you get all of that, all of this effort being put into the engineering, and yet here they have an opportunity to rotate. If they'd rotated the wings round, great, but they haven't. And this flat wing effect that you have on here, you've got texture on the bottom, granted, but it's very, very flat. There's no depth to that. And then you have this big sort of ugly plate, which remember has got less detail than the G1 version as well. So the wings just fall flat. They don't have any sort of swoopiness to them. He doesn't have like the third dimension anywhere near as much as the G1 figure. Yeah, he's nice. It's a good figure, and for the completionists among you, you're going to have to end up paying through the nose. He looks better from the back. Well done. Yeah, congratulations. What do you want, medal? Okay, but put the two side by side and we'll zoom out. And I don't think that there is enough in it. The other tapes are just so far ahead. They're just literally leaps and bounds. But this guy, it's not so much a step backwards. It's just I expected more. And those wings, man, look at the wings on that thing. It's glorious, absolutely awesome. Look at all the little detail in there. That's a 30-year-old toy, 30 years old, 30 years later, and that's what they come up with. Come on, sort it out. So yeah, that's my kind of negative review of it, and I'm not shy of being negative if the thing isn't good, if it could have been done better. I'm sure they could have done this better. I'm sure they could have got the texture on the inside of those wings. They could have put some sort of joint in possibly so you could swivel the rings round and have like what you want is that kind of swoopiness, that, there you go, at that angle. That's the sort of shape that you want. Kind of like a TIE fighter sort of look. That's what you want, but it isn't. That's what you get. Yeah, so here endeth my bit of a rant. I won't keep you any longer, just to say that if you're holding out to spend stupid notes on Ratbat when you've got Ratbat G1, then I don't know, just really consider if you think the figure's any better, because I, for one, personally, I don't think it's worth the stupid money it's asking. The only reason that I have him is because I wanted Sound Blaster to make into a Masterpiece Blaster, and this was a happy byproduct of it. That is the only reason I've got him. I would never consider spending the money that this guy is going for to get a hold of him. It's just not worth it when this toy, bearing in mind as well that I don't have the rose tinted goggles. I never had the G1 cassettes. I think I had like Laserbeak and a broken Soundwave, and that was about it. This guy I bought because, again, just a happy coincidence, because I wanted the G1 tapes for the Blaster Masterpiece. The first thing I came across on eBay was the Encore pack that came with the 2 Blaster tapes, Steeljaw and whoever the other guy is, Ramhorn, Ratbat and Slugfest. So I got them as like an added bonus. And I got both of these toys pretty much the same sort of time. So you've got novelty sort of isn't a factor here. It isn't the fact that this guy is newer, this guy's older. It isn't the fact that I've got my rose tinted goggles on for G1 Ratbat. You know, there's no factor here. They came at exactly the right time. I'm basing them on their own current merit, and personally, I just don't think that the Masterpiece is worth it. I think you'd be very happy stick with your G1 toy. Anyway, rant over. Thank you very much.